This time of the year, just tell me the excitement going into it, and for you being here, 5 years. I mean, it's kind of flown by.
You know, I'm really excited. Lost my voice a little bit. I've got to slow down so I can keep it the entire 15 days. I was talking to the recruits yesterday. We had a junior day yesterday, and I was talking to them, and it's amazing. This is my 5th year, and out of 14 coaches, I think I'm sitting at number 5 as far as tenure in the conference. So there's 9 coaches that are either younger or no longer with us. But to be here for 5 years and to be in the top third of just hanging around and trying to do a decent job is really exciting. I thought the young men came out here and did a really good job for opening day. And there's a lot of communication going on, a lot of things that are different. And they're not hearing us, they're listening. And I think there was no doubt that it was an exciting and it was a better day.
With a lot of those things kind of being different, obviously the 2 new coordinators, does it kind of feel almost like a first year where guys are trying to get accustomed to the new
No, it does not seem like a first year at all. The culture is already set. They understand the tempo of practice. They understand how we want to do things, and they understand the family. So not a first day in that situation, but I do like how they were paying attention, trying to gather the new knowledge, and then put that stuff on the field so we can have success.
I think when we talked to you on signing day, Tony White wasn't official yet, but I wanted to ask you, take me to after Zach goes to Mississippi State. What happens for you there? Are you definitely sticking with the 3-3-5? You have to get someone there. Did you look at other options? How did you get from there to taking Tony?
You always want to look at everything. I don't want to just I try to take emotion out of decisions and really try to look at the X's and O's and see who's available to you at that situation. But I guess you wouldn't. Sometimes you can be a little hard-headed, and I really am intrigued with this defense. I really think it's a defense that really kind of fits what we are. And, I don't know, we may have no success, and you guys may be talking to somebody else up here in a couple of years. But in my gut, I feel like this is what we can go to, and I think we can have some success with it. So it's going to be exciting to see if we're able to do some of that stuff.
And then once ahead, Tony, it would seem like the few weeks before spring practice, when the coaches get together, is an important time. What did you want to get done at that point, teaching the other assistants who hadn't worked with the 3-3-5? Take me into some of those conversations.
Well, coaches are coaches. I know how some people feel like if you're a good coach, you're a good teacher. If you're a good teacher, math may be your baby, but you can teach history. You just got to do a little homework on it. And I felt like we have some good coaches on this staff. I think we've got some exciting new coaches on the staff that are fantastic teachers, and I just don't get caught up too much on whether a guy is this type of coach or played this position. I think if they're a good teacher, they can teach. If they're a good recruiter, they can recruit anywhere.
Has that mindset changed? Because I remember you've talked about, particularly on the offensive side of the ball, the notion of staying in the family and what you've done there. You've obviously made some outside hires. Has your perception changed on kind of maybe a coach, like you said, a coach being just a good coach?
Staying inside the family offense is one thing. I mean, I think it's a lot. Our offense is very, very unique. It's hard to teach. But I think when you go to defenses, I think is a little bit simpler.
Okay.
And whether it's the 4-2, the 4-3, the 3-3-5, the bear defense, gaps and angles are similar. It's just how you want to get to it. It always ends up being the same anyway. So I just think it's a little bit different. Our offense is very unique when it comes to that kind of stuff, though.
I was going to say, you mentioned the offense, being complex. Tommy enters essentially as his second spring as the starting quarterback. How did he look today, and how have you seen him kind of grow from this offseason, through to this spring as he continues to become accustomed to the system?
He looked really good out there in shorts, but the game is played in pads, and obviously we had a rough go with it last year as far as protections and being able to run the ball and things like that. And everything starts for that guy when we get in pads. This is a nice warm-up. It's a nice pregame. But we got to get back in pads. We got to rush the quarterback. We got to block the guys that are rushing the quarterback. We got to deliver passes, and that's the key to winning football games. You go back and you look at the Super Bowl with Holmes and Garoppolo, and it's amazing to watch 3 quarters, to watch how a quarterback can function. And it looks like the game is going to go one way, and then all of a sudden that guy gets hot and changes it totally around. And it's all based off how you handle pressure and what you do with it when it comes.
I know the pre-spring depth chart is kind of just a starting point, but I wanted to ask you about the linebacker group. Why did you guys go with Jeff and Tyrell as the ones and McKell on the 2 line?
Just some of the stuff was just done off of some of the stuff that they've done on special teams. We've seen those guys on tape. This thing is all juggling. They're out there to win a job. All those guys are going to get a bunch of reps in the first 2 or 3 scrimmages. And when the smoke clears, somebody's going to be sitting 1 and 2 and 3 when we're at practice 15. And then we'll go through the summer, and they'll get bigger, and they'll get faster, and they'll get stronger. And then they're going to have to compete again for those jobs. And I think whoever settles down and wins those jobs at linebackers, I think we're going to be really happy with them.
How important is having – those guys are both big, I think 230-ish. How important is having a guy of that size in there, and does that affect kind of McKell, who's a little lighter?
You know, I had an opportunity of meeting Franco Harris in the last 3 weeks. I met Franco Harris, and then I saw in the paper the other day. I think he turned 70, and I saw it in your guys' newspaper that he turned 70 years of age. 70.
Or yesterday.
It was like 2 or 3 days ago.
Yeah.
And I was talking to him about 3 weeks ago, and I'm like, Franco Harris is so big. And I think about Franco Harris. I think about when I met Larry Zonka, Floyd Little. I'm going to answer your question, Floyd Little. Jimmy Brown last year. Okay, and Jimmy is coach. I saw Jimmy Brown. Mr. Brown is what, 80? Is he 80? I think he's up there a little bit. They are such large people. Okay, they're old and they're large people. And I really think that linebackers need to be bigger size if they're going to be hitting some of these running backs and knocking them down. You see the guys that Boston College played with, the guys that Clemson played with, the guys that Pitt plays with. I think the bigger we get at that position, the better we're going to be in stopping the run. I know that was a long answer, but I wanted to let you guys know I bet Franco Harris.
I know it feels like the season opener is a long ways away, but how critical is today, this time of the year, to lay the foundation for what you need to see?
Again, I think the foundation's been laid. We need to refocus. We need to refocus. It doesn't just happen. You've got to work for it, and you've got to make sure that your goal is always on your fingertips, in your pocket, and every time you stick your hand in it, you're rubbing it, you're touching it, you're feeling it, you're believing it, you're tasting it, you're savoring it. You get the picture. And if we stay locked in and we do the little things, then we'll have a chance to do some big things when it's all said and done.
You mentioned the 3-3-5 fitting what we are, sort of what you guys have. Is that more personnel or fitting also sort of the idea of being a team that's fast, that's quick, flying around the field?
I think it's all those things. I think it's simple yet it's complex. I think it's aggressive yet it's passive, and I think it fits our personnel. And I think it can change. It can morph into other types of things, and I like that flexibility.
So sort of, I know you were talking about Isaiah Simmons earlier, and
unbelievable
saw
guy.
what he did at the combine.
I did.
Enables you to have. I mean, obviously he's hard to recreate, but with some athletes, create sort of a similar role, or have somebody be more flexible of moving between sort of in the box, out covering man to man, deep in zone.
You're talking about number 11 for Clemson. He played safety, nickel, linebacker, defensive end against us. And then he went to the NFL Combine, took off his sweats, he ran 4.39, put his sweats back on him, and went and called his mom or something. I mean, we need to get some guys like that. I'm not sure we've got some guys like that, but I do think we have the flexibility in our defense for guys like that to be able to find a home where they may not be just a traditional player in the old scheme of things.
Speaking of the Combine, you get to check in on any of the former Warriors that got out there and kind of check in with them and how they felt like their impressions were?
I haven't had a chance to talk to Alton. I have talked to Kendall. All those guys, as far as I know, are getting ready to come back. Sterling had a fantastic deal out there, and obviously we all saw Tristan. We were proud of him. He actually ran better than what I thought he was going to run. He said he was going to run that, and he proved me right. I believe it was a 4.50 and a 4.52. It was good to see him do those things. All 4 of those guys, the NFL people have been contacting me, and they're all high on all those guys' lists, very high.
Bring back an All-American and Andre Cisco. I mean, what is the next step, the next level for him to get to this year?
He needs to be consistent. I mean, he's done it for 2 years. I thought that his first year was obviously outstanding as a freshman. His second year, I thought that he needed to, tackle better. And now he gets a chance to put all that together, be a ball hawk and knock the heck out of people. And, he's very, very humble. He's very, very steady. He's our new Kendall Coleman since Kendall Coleman's graduated, as far as coming to work every day with his lunch pail and getting his job done. So we have more people like Cisco. We're going to do okay. And there's no ceiling to what he can do. He's a fantastic football player.
Any indication on where the spring showcase is going to be, or where you would like it to be?
You know, you guys talk to the media and the athletic director and all those guys. They're going to put us on a bus. We're going to drive somewhere. We're going to get out, and then we're going to have our 15th practice. Then we'll get back in the bus. We'll go home and start recruiting again.
I run through some of the injured guys and just let me know how long you think they might be out.
I'm not quite sure on all of them.
That's fair.
Okay.
Kingsley Jonathan,
Kingsley was out there, wasn't
he
he?
was in sweats and kind of officially listed as out.
Was he out there?
I saw.
I'm asking Mike, was he?
Just standing, yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. I don't know the answer. I thought I saw him out
Fair
there.
enough.
Okay.
Latari Kinsler,
He might be a while.
something that would be like long term. Or...
He might be a while.
Okay. Curtis Harper,
He's going to be a while.
Dakota Davis,
He's going to be a while.
Chris Bleich.
He's going to be a while.
I know he has sent a waiver to the NCAA seeking immediate eligibility. Have you guys heard anything back?
No, that stuff normally happens very, very late, and it normally doesn't work out well for us. It works out for other teams that we're playing, but it normally doesn't work out well for us.
Last question for Coach.
Coach, this offensive line, obviously the talk of the town last year. What do you expect out of this unit after what they went through last year?
You know, how let's just be better. Okay, let's not put any limitations on it. Let's not say, hey, they need to be this or need to be. Let's be better. And I think they will. I mean, I think Aaron Service is going to be the leader of that group. There's no doubt about it. And I think they're going to come out ready to go. I think between the coaches and the players and what happened last year, I think we're going to all be fighting really hard and really paying a lot of attention to make sure it's a lot different than it was last year. Thank you so much.